to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the Yonex Vcore Pro line in the 97 square inch heads. All right, so we're going to start with the heaviest racket that Yonex makes, the StandEndorsed Vcore Pro 97. This racket clocks in at 330 grams unstrung. Now, I'm going to teach you how to read weights and what to look for in a Yonex racket, because they all look the same. You can tell that 3 of these look the same, and without the plastic on them, you're not going to know what's what. So if you're just grabbing a demo or grabbing a friend's racket or in the retail store and they for some reason cover this part up, because this will tell you this is the 330 gram stand racket, this is 3/8. But if this plastic is off, you go over here to the side of the racket, right? And this will tell you 330 grams, right? There's the balance point, and that's the length. I don't know why they put the length in there, but and if you look here, I'm going to teach you what that square means right there. This one says HG. HG means heavy. The H stands for heavy, okay? If you go and you don't see the H there, let me see if this one, you don't see the H there, like in this one, it just says G. That means it's normal weight or medium weight, okay? Some of these rackets will say LG. That stands for light, okay? So that means it's the light version of the racket. Usually, if they make a light version of a particular line, the grip will also be white to start, all right? Like the heaviers or the regulars are usually black grips. The lights are white grips, okay? So going back to Stan's racket, StandEndorsed racket, strung weight 349. So it's a pretty heavy racket. I mean, not too many rackets aside from maybe the Fed is about this weight. So it's up there. I played with this racket. I like this racket because I like weight. So 97 square inches, balance point at 320 millimeters, 65 on that stiffness scale. I thought that was a little on the high side, but it's Stan's racket. Maybe he likes it a little on the stiffer side, right? Or for the people who like it this weight. I actually enjoy that. I don't mind a slightly stiffer frame on a heavier racket. A la Hammer, back in the 80s. Beam is a 20 beam, so it is on the thinner side. So thinner beam, heavier weight, slightly firmer racket. All of those are right in my wheelhouse. I like those type of specs. 16-19 on the string bed, which I also like. I like an open string bed. All right, so that's the StandEndorsed 330 Vcore Pro 97. All right, going to the regular version. So they call this the 310. Not as heavy as the stand. So not many people is going to be able to handle that stand. So most people are going to go for this one. Obviously lighter at 326 weighted. The balance 320 still. So the balance remains the same. Swing weights is lighter at 318. The RA gets a little softer, so it's not as stiff, but not by much. It's a 64 versus a 65. Beam remains at 20. So, and string pattern remains at 16/19. So it's essentially Stan's racket but with a lighter swing weight. So it goes through the air a little faster. All right. I actually prefer the stand, but this one definitely cuts through the air faster. All right. So that's the new Vcore line, Vcore Pro line for 2020. Just came out a couple months ago. Now, what's the difference between this version that just came out versus the one that was out for the last 2 years? Well, aside from the pretty red color and looks like the navy bluish gray to the green that you see here, not a whole lot. The main difference is actually in the handle. So in the handle area, they actually added like what they call a stretchy mesh material that's wrapped around the grip to dampen it. So it deadens it, it softens the feel. It's kind of like putting a vibration dampener in the handle. And that's what Yonex is actually going to be doing going forward with most of the rackets, if not all of the higher end rackets. So dampening in the handle, only difference between these two. All right, but that will adjust the feel. So, you know, see what you think. Tell me if you like that green dampened feel in the green racket. Now, new to the line this year, the HD. So high density is what I'm guessing it means, because it's the first time ever they've come out with an 18 by 20 version. So for those of you who hit flatter, for those of you who break strings fast and want that dense feel, Europeans, I know you love this. You've probably been asking for this racket. 18 by 20 suits that type of stroke. So this is for you. It's actually in between the two weights. So it starts off at 320 grams before strings. Now with the strings in there, it's 337 grams. The beam, or the beam is still 20. The balance is at 320. So those things don't change. Beam and balance doesn't change. 320 and 20, okay? Swing weight is in between the two also. So it's a 326 on the swing weight. Now here's where it gets interesting. It's a softer racket because it clocks in at a 59 on the stiffness scale. So for those of you who swing flat, want a softer feel of these rackets, this is your racket. You can swing harder, and if you don't need the power, this will be your racket to keep the ball in the court. For all you pro level advanced players, yeah, this would probably suit your stroke perfectly. Okay, it's got an 18 by 20 string pattern. So, you know, this is a tougher racket to play with. I swung this racket and I like the weight, but I don't have the stamina or the strength to be wielding this around for an hour. I mean, if I miss the ball, man, that ball is going to be a sitter on the other side, and the next shot's going to be a put away. So for those of you who are definitely on that way high intermediate to advanced level racket, this would be your frame, especially if you're a flat hitter and a string breaker. Okay. Now there's also two other rackets to this that I won't go over today, but there are 100 versions of this. They make Vcore Pro in hundreds that I don't sell too many of. They tend to be a little on the lighter side, still on definitely the intermediate to advanced level rackets, as they are thinner beam, and not too heavy, but you know, definitely on the harder to play list of rackets. you have any questions about these, let me know. Leave a comment of what you think. If you played with these, let me know. Let me know especially about the HD, because that's new to the line. If you've tried it or if you bought it, let's let people know how it is, because it's definitely got a lot of attention. Okay? Thanks for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.